right. Hello and welcome back to day 2 of dual streaming here on the mainstream channel. Uh, Again, this will be episode 2 of the story of the First Maria, where we ASMR or ASMR read my own lore. 5 chapters of my lore in a whole episode. So the VTuber debut, which is set up literally on the night of the anniversary of the Maria, since its founding more than a year ago, we have introduced 5 out of 20 chapters. So this being a 20 chapter story, so I've decided to cut this down to 4 parts. So that was the first episode. The second episode is here. It's chapters 6 to 10. The third episode is chapters 11 to 15, and the last episode is chapters 16 to 20. Like I said, there are 20 chapters in this whole lore, and you can check them out over at bit.ly/Aga-chuu lore. We will be integrating that onto the website so that you can read along with me as well, or you can just read along in your free time. It's already on the website, not just in a Google document. It's already accessible on the website, so you can take that with you wherever you go. But anyway, we still have some errands to deal with, so stand by. We'll be right back after the break. Okay, so we're back. So to all our YouTube, Twitch, and VStream friends, hello, and you're watching the stream. Don't forget to share it around, share the whole playlist. It's already on the names of my channel. If you want to see the full episodes of it, it's also on YouTube. I will be podcasting this as well after Lorelei's story, which will come first after this, before this one. This will be another live edition, and I don't know if I could do any more live editions, maybe some other time. But in that sense, let's continue with the story, which begins at chapter 6. Now, this is chapter 6 up to chapter 10, and this is basically what part 1. This is basically part 1 of being with the third Maria. So, you know who the third Maria is. It's already on the top left corner of the screen. I won't show any more clues here because it's obviously up there. This experience, however, is very significant because I had a lot of affinity with the third Maria, aka Mama Queenie, all over the years since she first started streaming as Mama Hina. And we've been through a lot of these processes together, like a lot of moderation work, a lot of management work, and oftentimes when she switched from one identity to the next, I've always been here together with her and her community as we strive forward through her efforts to be creative and be just about herself. And that's what I aim for for a Maria. So this is part 1 of all of the experiences I had with the third Maria. So chapter 6 is titled Paths. Chapter 7, Luna. Chapter 8, Royalty. Chapter 9, Memories. And chapter 10, Favor. Some of these may be long, so I expected it to be more than an hour long stream, except that it's on VStream because we're bridging almost an hour because of the timer. I have to keep this early, so you guys could skip right through it if you're not interested in all these kinds of things. But anyways, let's go with chapter 6. Okay. Okay, so I somehow had a little cough, so my apologies for that. There we go. Okay, okay. Good. All right. I'm still a little bit. I'm still a little bit nervous, but okay. Let's just get this going. Chapter 6. Here we go.
As I make my way from my exit from the incorporeal garden, I look around to see the Grand Lady standing under a tree. Ah, Grand Lady! I called up to her, running towards her direction. She waves her hands in the air. Agatha, you came at the perfect time. Probably. So, here's the Grand Lady. How's it going with Ara? I chuckled. It was unexpected. I never knew that the friendship I had with her from her previous life has stayed with her even now. I can't believe that a friend I thought I'd lost over some accident was right before me, crying while waiting for my call. That must be lovely to see. I mean, I chuckled. But you saw it all, didn't you? You got me. Holding an envelope, the grand lady changes her tone. Agatha, you have successfully rekindled with your first friend whom you have loved dearly, and she began to feel the same about you. That confirms that you have the capability to love and be loved again, regardless of what the negativities tell you. Is that so? I contemplate. A while later, I glance at the envelope she's holding. What's that you're holding? Immediately, she hands it over to my direction. Here, it's an invitation. Invitation for what? She smiles charmantly. A royal coronation will be held in a few days from now. Someone will be ruling the kingdom. I shy away. I've never been to a coronation, unfortunately. Not even once. Then this will give you a chance, she smiles. I tilt my head. Problem is, though, who gave you the envelope? And how did you know I will be going? Actually, a while ago, the Grand Lady has just finished tending the celestial tree when Hina came to the sanctum. Grand Lady! Hina, she greets with a smile. What's with that envelope? Handing the envelope, Hina replies, I hope I spelled your friend's name right. Oh, thanks. The Grand Lady chuckles as she takes a peek at the contents. I'll send it all to her when I met her in a few days. And Hina hands over a pot of some salt. Can I have the sakura sapling? The Grand Lady nods, placing a bag of seeds over it. You can have the seeds right away. I'll prepare a sapling for you. After a while, she returns with a sapling in a specially crafted planter. You can keep this. Really? The Grand Lady nods, looking at her beaming face. I better go now before anyone starts acting suspicious once again. I'll help you with what you're carrying. Hina immediately declines the offer. Thanks, but I need to do this alone. I can't risk putting you in more trouble than what we had dealt with before. Okay, the Grand Lady nods. Get home safe. I will. Despite my speculations, I took the envelope from her. Okay, I'll go. Good. The Grand Lady beams happily. I assume you're ready to go. Where are you taking me to? To the kingdom indicated in that invitation. She nods. There, you'll meet with an Ojo-sama who will assist you with everything you need. I assume the mission will be the same as always? She slowly nods. Yes, but what you'll do is up to you. I nod. Okay, lead the way. It's settled then. The portal whooshes before me, the Grand Lady smiling softly behind my back. The kingdom awaits your presence, Agatha. Determined, I take a deep breath before stepping into the portal, feeling a sudden rush of wind on the other side. It's windy here, I thought. But as soon as I finally finished setting foot on the other side, the portal vanished immediately, leaving only the surroundings behind. I'm in the middle of the road? Meanwhile, the grand lady sighs upon seeing the portal go. Agatha, the third Maria is waiting for you. Immediately rushing to the sidewalk, I can see the castle from afar. But where's the coronation ceremony going to be held, I thought. At a glance, there's a boarding house that seems to be cozy inside. I immediately settle for a bed, hoping to be warm after the chill of what's on the other side of the realm. The next day, Joe-sama! One of the maids came in. The carriage is ready for parade. The Joe-sama rushes to finish dressing up. Coming! Immediately coming down, a lovely carriage was waiting at the front. The driver patiently waits for the royalty to enter. Upon doing so, the driver signals his horse to wander around town so that the Joe-sama can see what her subjects and commoners are up to. Upon realizing that the royalty had arrived, everyone began cheering for the new royalty. Men, women, and children are all supporting as the carriage rolled along, with the Joe-sama waving her hand. Meanwhile, I still feel sleepy as I get out of the boarding house to see what the fuss is about. The cheering made it almost impossible to comprehend, but I was able to slide along to the side. From afar, I could see the carriage, almost turning and heading in this direction. Despite everything, I still have the envelope. The carriage closes in as I patiently wait. From inside the carriage, I can see a face behind a glass panel, with one hand waving about. As the carriage passed on, the Joe-sama and I's eyes met. From the look of it, she somehow had that kind of smile that encompasses me to the point that I almost fainted. But her smile immediately turns into concern as the gaze subsides. Immediately, she orders the driver to stop the carriage as she orders her royal advisor to wait inside. She got out of the carriage, only to find out that I was no longer where I stood. I went back to the boarding house. So that was you, Agatha. After that event, I was in the middle of cooking some lunch for the tenants when one of them barged into the kitchen. Agatha, you got a letter from the Joe-sama. Hold on. I stammer as I prepare another plate to serve the last dish. Wait for me at the dining table. A while later, the Joe-sama wants to see you. I blurted as I read the letter out loud. Does that mean she wants to see me? It would appear so. One of the tenants agreed. I saw her when she came down from the carriage, but she has this kind of concern on her face. Did you do something? Not that I consider it concerning for the general public, I shrug. But whatever the deal is, I'll be there after this. Yeah, you need to be full in order to be energized. Another smiles. Let's dig in. at the castle. Has she arrived yet? The Ojo-sama asked the royal advisor. He shook his head. She sighs. Okay. Get the carriage going to that boarding house. I'll brief her about what to do next. She hopes that this will be the last straw against waiting for the opportunity to arrive. What could she be planning? And how would they get involved in a situation that should be destined for royalty like her?
Oh, me. Okay, chapter 7. Oh, Mita, thank you so much. Oh my god, you're such a cutie as well. Oh my gosh. I hope you found my voice so angelic. I don't know if my falsetto works there. Also, Lazy PH Nard or PH Leonard, thank you so much. Okaeri nasai. Okaeri nasai. We're now down to chapter 7. Oh god. This will be a lot. This will be a while. So, hold on. My V stream on my netbook isn't doing some things, so it's freezing as hell. Okay. Anyway, you know what? Never mind. Let's get this on this line. Okay, you know what? Hold on. I'll get to V stream real quick here. Let's see what the fuss is about. Oh, goodness gracious. Cutie Spotted, thank you so much! That's so really nice of you! You're a cutie too! I repeat, you're a cutie too, okay? Alright, next. Chapter 7. There we go. Chapter 7, here we go!
Together with the suitcase, I bid my goodbyes to the tenants at the boarding house as I make my way to the castle where the Ojo-sama was supposed to be. At a glance, I can see the carriage making its way to at least some directions away from me, but the driver doesn't seem to know which boarding house was, because a lot of them could well be akin to one. As such, the delays became imminent. I bet the Ojo-sama is going upset by that point. I sigh, focusing my attention to the castle. I'm a number of steps away from the boarding house when a group of so-called loyalists began talking to one another as they approached the same direction I walked. From there, I can hear some conversations about some of them planning to court the Ojo-sama, and one admitted to dreaming of fantasizing about her. Gross, I thought, my face arcing in disgust. We walk off for quite a while until we can see a number of guards at the gate. Immediately, the group started to run as they approached the guards, begging for the Ojo-sama's presence. The guards quickly apologized, reasoning that she was on a trip. I tried to stay away from the discussion by going backwards, but I realized after turning around that the carriage had arrived at its destination, the boarding house I previously sheltered in. At the boarding house, the Ojo-sama would then scramble in every room, searching for traces of her. She frantically asks the tenants there for any signs of a woman with green hair. But they all shook their heads. I thought this was the place. I mean, you all knew it was. Stammers the Ojo-sama, looking at every possible option. All while thinking about it, some of the active tenants have returned. What seems to be the matter, Ojo-sama? To be honest, I'm quite confused at this point. She sighs. I thought she was still in here, so I came to get her. Oh, realized what time. You mean Agatha? Agatha? Yeah, one and another showing out to the Josema's direction. Just left some minutes ago. Upon reading the note, she realized that the note was the exact copy that was sent to this property a few hours ago. Can you tell me where she is at right now? Another promise. She told us that she was going to Castle after lunch, so she might have been there already. Thanks so much! They'll just about boss immediately for a few times. They gets back to the carriage.
Apologies for the disturbance there for a second here. That Asian motherfucker did something that needs my attention. Hate it! Let's continue. Okay, let's repeat that line again.
They'll just about boss immediately for a few times. They gets back to the carriage. Talking to the driver, she ordered, Let's head to the castle.
At ease, Your Highness.
The carriage hurriedly huddles off, though Josama wondered how the woman named Agatha was doing. Is she gonna be alright? She thought. This is not good. I muttered to myself. I got surrounded by the group that tried to break into my castle earlier because I was running away. They must have thought that whenever a passerby walks in the same direction as theirs, they can interpret it as a bystander being a secret accomplice. Of course, I already told them I wasn't going to the castle, but they immediately saw it as a complete lie. One had already punched me in the face, while the other smashed my suitcase and threw it to the side. Some parts of it had already been dented beforehand. I muttered to myself. But then, I got interrupted by a chant from the group saying,
Shorty is our middle name!
Gasp in anger. Just how cruel are these delinquents? The guards began to help ease the situation, but due to the strength of the delinquents, they were pushed and tossed aside. One of them started mercilessly pulling my hair, while the other began stomping my legs. At this point, trauma started to kick in. My arms trying to guard my torso as I cried endlessly. Yes, it was the trauma that left me in worse condition back then. A long while ago, the grand lady and I were discussing my past. When I brought up that one time, I got hurt pretty badly since childhood. I was a mere 8-year-old. I wasn't prepared for myself and I had to go through. I was constantly ordered around to do chores both inside and outside the house. My parents only gave me praise when I did everything right. But their tone, it doesn't seem like a praise at all. So let's listen. Tears began welling out of my eyes. I was being paid and paraded without any reason. No, there wasn't any reason for them to be angry at me. What did I do to deserve this? What did I do wrong to upset them in the first place? Continuing to tear up, the grand lady offered me a soothing sensation to ease my pain. But I kept on crying. The grand lady slowly nods, a warm embrace engulfing my frail body. She begins to hum a soothing song that puts me to sleep. A while later, she told me a little secret that she couldn't hold much longer after listening to my story. I'm gonna give you something that will help you ease that pain. If you feel that same feeling as back then, call up to its name, and it will respond unto you. I ask confusingly, what something is it? It's a power that can overcome your fear. Call its name, and it will transform you into a being no man was capable of fighting up against. I shriek. I know it's hard to believe. She pats my head. But trust me, a name is all you can give. Thinking about it, I kind of sensed that the supposed power that she brought up was already swelling my body, waiting for its goal. Can I test it here? Sure. I took some deep breaths and closed my eyes. In my concealed vision, I saw a future when the power can have the capability to change how others would see or as. The traumas, the circumstances, the achievements, everything. Oh, Aluna, come to me. As I mutter my sentence, I could feel my body heating up. My hair seemed to have changed its color, judging from the heat that came along with it. Then, a gust had cleared. Standing next to the grand lady is a woman whose beauty defines the moon, the so-called goddess of moonlight, if she can recall. She handed me a mirror. By appearance, I have an elegant dress which remotely resembles the dress Aura gave to me, but it's colored white. My hair is light peach to white, and so are my eyes and cosmetics in general. A ring on my left finger, and a tiara on my head. She then brought a box which contained moon-themed jewelry. Please wear these. After wearing them, I can see that the pendant on my necklace began lighting up. The grand lady declared, Agatha, what you're seeing right now is your lunar form. That is, every time you call out to its name, your appearance changes, making you feel like an actual goddess. This is madness, I stammer, only to realize that my voice had been changed. It somehow felt like I have an even softer voice than usual, accompanied by an a cappella in the background. When I realized, I covered my mouth in shock. The grand lady softly smiles. In a moment, I begin to realize that the lunar form that was bestowed was bigger than I thought. I deeply sigh. returning me back to normal through a shine of light. A moment later, the Grand Lady told me something important. Now that you have obtained that magnum opus, I just want to remind you that you should only use it when you or someone special to you are in immediate danger. This form can be used for extended periods, but upon reverting back to normal, you must wait 12 hours before it can be used again. I nod, understanding the situation. The Grand Lady added, but if the situation gets even more haywire than it should be, the cooldown can be discarded at your will. I see. I nod in agreement. This could be really interesting in the long run. It is. As I'm still being kicked around by the delinquents and the guards trying hard to fend them off, but to no avail, I slowly mutter the following words, with tears in my eyes. This. Immediately, a blinding sight of white light begins to grow, engulfing the delinquents and the guards along with it. What I didn't know, though, is that the light extended far beyond the proximity, to the point that it affected even the bystanders from all areas, the tenants in the boarding house I previously resided in, and the carriage carrying the Hojo-sama and her accomplices with it. A moment later, the delinquents appeared terrified, so did the guards on patrol. I look at my hands and begin curling my hair, seeing as the surroundings came to a standstill. I approach the delinquent while I remember kicking my face and stomach. I stare at him in a stern manner, more than enough to traumatize him from inside out. Don't show me your terrified face as an excuse for what you did to me a while ago. Even though I might not look like it, I can still always remember everything that has always happened. What you did to me is immeasurably unacceptable, and what you have encouraged your accomplices irks the hell out of me. Now what should I do to a cruel monster like you? Despite merely apologizing, I scoff it off, the guards looking at me every few seconds as they grapple the other delinquents, the latter appearing blinded. From afar, the Hojo-sama has just got out of the carriage, just to witness a peculiar woman intimidating the delinquent as hard as she could. Who's that woman? She thought. One of the guards slowly approached my direction.
Ma'am, can you please put down the delinquent?
He asked. I will. I have some final words with him quickly. Looking back at the delinquent, I patted some words. Next time I find you trying to court the Hojo-sama again, you will regret it. I let go of my hand, letting the delinquent fall to his feet as the guard was waiting for him with a cuff on his hand. I immediately realized the immense feeling that I had in my lunar form as I reverted back to normal following a deep sigh. I can hear the Grand Lady in the back of my head saying, "Don't do things that will make you regret later on." I turn around as the carriage has been parked to a safe distance. I can see the Hojo-sama accompanying her royal advisor as they encountered the delinquents being petrified.
What just happened back there?
The royal advisor asked. One of the guards told them the whole story about the debacle, their intentions, and what I did that somehow petrified them in their entirety. He was shocked, and so was the Ojo-sama, who was about to write an order of some sort. Yeah, she gave it to him. Tell the guards to meet me at the dungeon later. As they affirmed the order and the delinquents being delivered to the dungeon as instructed, I set off to find a suitcase that they threw. Sure enough, one of the guards had me neatly placed beside the fence. I think she's the one, the Ojo-sama thought, turning her head to the royal advisor. Please give her one of my rooms when she gets back here. I'll have to deal with some unfinished business and we'll meet her later.
Firm,
Said the royal advisor.
but which room?
Beside mine. He nods.
At ease, Your Highness.
The Ojo-sama hurries along to follow the guards as they return to where previously stood. Then the royal advisor orders one of the guards to take my things.
Please guide her to the room requested by Her Highness. And Pam, Ojo-sama will be with you shortly.
Ojo-sama. He nods.
Her Highness Hina Ojo. Everyone calls her Ojo-sama.
That's understandable. Let's get inside the castle then. At the castle, accompanied by the royal advisor, a guard, and some servants, we were standing at the door that leads to my supposed room. The guard turns the key open, then hands over to my direction.
Miss, the room is yours.
We headed inside a room, which was spacious. A maximum of 5 people can stay here all at once. Servants proceed to occupy the cabinets and drawers with what's within my suitcase. After they're done, they allow me to rest for a moment. During that time, I was completely baffled about what had just happened back there. How did I blurt out the sentence? Trying to remember about what just happened with the delinquents, it would seem that I was already in peril when I blurted out the sentence. I thought to myself, I need to see that scum of a delinquent. That won't be necessary, the woman said. Though it was so sudden, it caused me to shriek. I've already set at a trial for tomorrow to throw the judgment above their heads. How did you know? Of course I know, she smiles, her hands on her chest. I won't allow any individual like him to do any harm to my precious friend. My eyes widened upon realizing what she said. Your precious friend? Let's get to it straight. Your name is Agatha, correct? She cuts to the chase, holding a pen of some sort. Why not? I thought, how did she know my name? She sits beside me, raising her hand in my direction. It's nice to finally meet you. My name is Hina. Hina Ojo. Slowly, I followed suit, shaking hands with her for the first time. Nice to finally meet you, Ojo-sama. You don't have to call me that, she blushes. Just, Hina is fine. Okay then, Hina.
That concludes Chapter 7. We'll be back after a short break. I had it all the time for a second, but I guess I could control escape, play up start menu. Fuck.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I had to deal with some things. Okay, we're back. So we're now on chapter 8, which is now our continuous encounters with the Ojo-sama, the third Maria. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right to it.
A few hours later, I was accompanied to the dining room, which at a glance feels huge. I mean, look at the area of the room. Did you mistake that for half the area of a decent house? Nevertheless, I sat next to Hina, with others on their respective chairs of choice. A meal was served, a hearty meal full of veggies and corn. I thought, there's no meat on the menu? Despite the thought, the meal had been mostly uneventful, as we haven't talked much about the delinquents, even more or less the circumstance of having the noodle form. Hina looked at me carefully between each bite, though. I'm not quite sure what her intention was, but let's leave it at that for now, I guess. Back in the room, I was about to take a shower when I saw a bathroom with some bath salts. Is there a hot spring somewhere in the castle? I thought. I came out of the room with my clothes, but for some reason, Hina was accompanying me on our way to the hot spring. To be honest, I feel quite embarrassed about this. Don't worry about certain things. Just try to treat us like with the activity that you always do. She reassures, gazing at my face. I begin shying away, but I'd never been in a hot spring before, not even back home. The sudden Hina softly pats my head. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. We finally made it to the hot springs. Together with Hina's help, I was able to pour the bath salts into the water. Hina went down first and helped me do it too along the way. The servants began doing the work, having to clean as much as they could. I turned my gaze to Hina, who was sighing heavily. You know, I don't really worry much about what has happened over the past few months, but the last week has been pretty hectic. The coronation ceremony was closing in, and I thought I won't be able to make it. What would force you to become the ruler if you're not up to the task anyways? I asked. She shrugged slowly. Was it because I made a promise to turn people's lives around? It would seem all but a pipe dream at one point. But still, you pushed through and almost became the ruler they all respect. Yeah. Look, I pat her right home. I've never had any affairs with anything. But from my experience, I think it's safe to say to at least try new stuff once in a while. Maybe there's one thing you're always good at. I'm not entirely sure what to make of that, but look, someone out there might be rooting for you. You have to believe to understand that. Hina smiles. You know? I never once thought that someone that I was close to was rooting for me before you arrived. But upon hearing about the circumstance with someone that told everything, she told me that she can do something completely different. I can too. Someone? She nods. Yeah. They call her the Grand Lady or some sort. Immediately I thought deeply about it. The Grand Lady? Is that way? What do you think about her? Hina leans in. I softly shriek, my gaze breaking away from hers. No, it's nothing. Although I would figure the Grand Lady would be the brains of the whole operation. I continued thinking deeply. But How would that concern me with Hina? And what is she implying here? Hina smiles. The bath salt is about to run out. I guess that's one sweet bath in the springs for now. Shall we go somewhere before we all take a rest? I slowly nod, following her wherever she goes, to bring me around the castle. It got to the point that we got really tired on the trip, but that alone was worth it. I naturally smile as I gaze at her face. I feel fulfilled. Glad you like it. Hina pats my head. We'll have some important business tomorrow, so I'm hoping to get your input. No worries. As we head ourselves to our beds, I begin to ponder about what just happened over the past several hours. About the lunar form I inadvertently activated, as well as the interactions I had with Hina. Those thoughts made me feel sleepy, though, so I slept for the night afterwards. But at one point, the door slowly creaked open, a slender figure slowly wandering around on tiptoes. She appears to be distressed or concerned. This caused us to slide inside the blanket that I laid a few hours prior, as if wanting to have some company. "Our body must have felt so warm," she said. I slept soundly, so I didn't know what was going on around here, until a moment I felt her hands placing on my waist. At that moment, I began struggling to get some sleep. I slowly did, only to realize a fateful moment where it's the same as the last time. I shrieked softly. Slowly, her eyes began to open up as hers meet mine. With a concerned look on her face, she tightens her embrace. Her head on my chest, she begins to tremble. I can hear her murmur the following words. "Oh, grand lady, fate has led her to this place upon your request. In return, I promise to keep her safe as she'll do the same." Without any comprehension of the situation, I slowly put my hand on her head, giving a little pat. I gently smile, my bosom feeling the tears falling from her eyes. But it's strange given the situation at hand. How could they possibly deal with that soon is beyond me. But nevertheless, I tried my best to comfort her for the rest of the night, until the following morning. The sun shines through the window, cold air beginning to fill the room. Hina was still beside me, falling asleep. Her face shows that she was smiling though. Good for you, I guess. I smile, slowly pulling from her grasp as I head out to grab some food and coffee. In the kitchen, the chefs and maids are very hard at work. I observe from a safe distance as I prepare myself a nice cup of coffee. One maid joins in, and so is the other one. "Oh, what are you making?" asks one maid. "Some coffee," I answered. "Oh, hold on. What does Ojo-sama usually drink every morning?" "The same variant as yours," the other maid nods. That's a bit creamier than it looks." Okay, I might need a drink for this." Following the maid's instructions, I set out to make a best-looking green coffee. All hands on deck, the maids prepare the food to be assigned to the dining table. I follow suit, 2 cups in a tray. A while later, Hina came down, still a bit drowsy. "Good morning." "Good morning," the maids and I responded. Immediately, her nose started to react strangely. What's that nice smell? Wait, did I smell coffee? Immediately rushing down the stairs, she grabs her mug from the table. Who made this plant? After hearing that, the maids begin slipping away. I laughed nervously, looking at her enthusiastic face that already began to sparkle. This is a nice blade you got there. Hina peeks at me. How did you make this? I scratch my head, pointing to the slowly fleeing maids. The maids over there taught me how to make one. I see. She eyes the frightened maids. Instead of menacingly beaming at them, she slowly approaches them and gives each a soft pat on their heads. Great work, you two. But, stutters one of the two maids. We didn't tell you everything about it. Even though we wanted to apologize, there's no question. Enough with those happy apologies, she asserts. If it makes me happy, then you both did a great job. One of the maids began to wail as they were giving much praise from Ojo-sama. Turning back her gaze to mine, she sips the coffee that I made. This one is the most delicious among everything that I've tried so far. I am very glad to hear that. She nods, the guards escorting the wailing maids back to their quarters for examination of what was going on earlier. Meanwhile, one of the guards on patrol was looking for Hina. As he approached forward, he carried a letter in his right hand.
A message for Ojo-sama.
Thank you, she said, taking the letter from the guard. She then carefully read the contents.
Our liege, the Ojo-sama. We are requesting your absolute appearance at the court following the delinquent's assault towards the guards of patrol and an important guest of the royal. Upon looking at the documents, we strongly request that the verdict against these adversaries be enacted immediately. In addition, we also request the presence of the guest involved, as she may provide us with additional evidence to support the claims presented by the plaintiffs from the judicial committee.
So, look at that, she said, looking at my gaze. Guess it's time to put these delinquents to justice. A bit terrified, I nodded at her request. She then adds, let's get dressed up immediately. We don't want to cause the judiciary's trouble. Hastily, we all went back to our rooms after a quick coffee and shower. I somehow found a somewhat regal dress that was laying around the bed when I headed back to my room. Looking at it, it adorned itself with poised royalty elements while retaining its original red-looking feel. The design feels rather reminiscent, and the palette on the sides were akin to popular designs that some of the world-famous designers use on their own. Oddly enough, it's also akin to most of my dresses. Immediately wearing it, I set off to meet Hina downstairs, where she enshrines herself in a completely regal look. But the design of her dress makes it completely irrelevant to show her upper part of the abdomen. Nevertheless, it's still pretty elegant by today's standards because of its simplistic look. Apologies for the wait, she said. Let's get going. At the royal court.
We would like to acknowledge the presence of our liege, the Ojo-sama, accompanying her important guest who was involved in this case.
As the audience rose to their feet, Hina stood to the podium in full pride and dignity. I was accompanied by the guards as she ordered them to put me to her left side. We're here tonight to issue a verdict to those delinquents who have assaulted the guards around the gates perimeter yesterday. In addition, they have also assaulted one of the few important guests who was supposed to be. I've also assaulted one of the important guests who was supposed to arrive a few minutes before the incident happened. She's currently safe as of now, but she will remain under my custody till her to recover from all these circumstances. In addition, she'll be having her own perspective to what has happened, most of which have been briefed privately earlier. Yes, I did tell her what had happened before we had gone back to sleep following the apparent sleepwalk that she did last night. The trauma that I had was still lingering. She firmly held my hand, whispering, "Don't worry about everything else. Just tell me what you saw and experienced, and let the judiciary assess their situation carefully." I nodded. Okay then. With every little courage I got, I immediately shared my own side of the story that I have told her. It was very pressuring, but I still appeared calm as she tightened her firm grip on my hand. I almost cried, but she patted my back as soon as my speech was done. "Please stay here while we assess this case, so that you can witness how we handle things here," she said, assuring my safety. All the while, I eyed on the delinquent who assaulted me earlier. I grit my teeth, wishing him the worst of his days as the judiciary completes the verdict. One of them passes the paper to Hina as the audience wonders in silence. "We have assessed the case and the underlying situation," said Hina as she read the passages from the paper that was submitted to her earlier. "The defendants have displayed a horrendous act that has put the lives of people involved at risk and evidently coordinated attacks against an important guest. Such acts are straightforwardly punishable, and therefore we issue the following verdict. The defendants are hereby declared..." Hina breathes deeply for a while and glances at the delinquents. Then she expresses her verdict in a serious tone. "Guilty." As the judge hammered the gavel down the table, he declared,
So ordered.
Hina then tells the guards on patrol, "Please ensure that the defendants can't get away with what they've done to my precious guest,"
At ease, Ojo-sama.
they said as they accompanied the delinquents out of the courtroom, possibly heading for the dungeon entrance. But wait, did Hina just call me her precious guest? "Hopefully this should put you at ease," she said as she pats my back. "Do you have anything to say before we put them to their place?" I slowly nod despite being hesitant about the situation, letting Hina do the rest. A while later, Hina and I made it to the dungeon entrance, where the guards are waiting with the delinquents cuffed. "If you want to say some final words to them, go ahead," she said. Eyeing at the delinquent from earlier, I couldn't help but grit my teeth in his gaze. I couldn't tell myself that I'm extremely angry at this point. Walking slowly towards the delinquent, the guard hands me a glass bottle. Then I scream as I swing the bottle to his head. "Wait till you get away with your shit! I hate you! Get off me!" I repeatedly smashed the bottle against him, knowing that the bottle has already been broken. To everyone's surprise, the delinquent was bleeding out from his face. And then "What you did to me came back to you. I hope you rot in there for eternity, asshole!" Fuming in anger, I inadvertently stomped the delinquent's stomach with my high heels, letting him bleed for a moment. I then pull a piece of wood from the side, then whack at his chest many times as I have to. This left me exhausted after quite an ordeal, but seeing his blood-severed face gave me a sense of satisfaction, knowing that I've finally put him back to his place. At the bottom of the hierarchy, Hina then ordered the guards to send the delinquents off to the dungeon for eternity as they begin to pass out, following the revenge. The next day, the morning sun has left me smiling as I get up from my bed. Surprisingly, Hina was beside me when I opened my eyes. Good morning. On the table were some meals for breakfast. Hina said, "This is my way of appreciating your presence here. It was pretty gruesome yesterday, but I'm sure you're all worn out. Here, I made you some breakfast." "Thanks," I answered aimlessly. "And sorry for what happened back there." "It's not your fault," she reassures. "You did a great job back there." We both smile, Hina carrying the tray to my bed. "Don't do anything after this, just get some well-deserved rest. We're going somewhere tomorrow." "To where?" "You'll see." She left with a smile on her face, humming as she closed the door. I wonder what she was planning on taking me to, as I indulged in the breakfast that she made just for me. Along the castle, a girl with yellow hair has been spotted along the corridors wearing some sort of a penguin hoodie. As Hina walks down the stairs, the girl follows through as slowly as possible. "I wonder where I should take her," Hina thought as she carried a box back to her room. The girl looked puzzled as she wondered what was inside the box. Meanwhile, Hina, now back to her room, opens the box carefully. It contains not just 2, but 3 bracelets of varying colors: purple, green, and pink. "What are those bracelets?" she thought. She also removed some sort of a photo frame from the box, as well as 3 pins with their respective color palettes. Puzzled, she chants her way to the sanctum where the Grand Lady lives, and is currently tending to the celestial tree. "Grand Lady!" She called up to her. "Oh, Hina." The Grand Lady immediately stood, facing her direction. "What brings you here today?" She hands her a box. "What's with these bracelets, a photo frame, and 3 pens?" The Grand Lady smiles. "They will be revealed in due course, when the First Maria will then rekindle with your hearts forever." "The First Maria?" "You'll see." At this point, Hina somehow realizes that there's something odd about the royal guest that she's currently accompanying. The main question remains, is the guest the so-called First Maria?
Chapter 9 is next after this break. Okay, welcome back. We're now live with chapter 9. Okay, 2 chapters to go before we end this part, because we're now on chapter 9. Okay, let's do this.
A day later, I made my way towards the place where Hina and I were supposed to meet. One of her guardians. Where could she be? I thought. From afar, I could see Hina panting as she runs in my direction. Sorry I'm late, she said. There's nothing to apologize for. I hushed it off. Rather, why did you take me to this place? Regaining her breath, she calmly walks down towards a row of real plants. Here, she said, handing me a planter. This is one of the saplings of the cherry blossom. Someone gave a whole bag of seeds, and this one to me some time ago. That looks beautiful. I gleam at the sapling. Where are the others? They're right over there. She glances at the bench and responds, where the more planters and saplings of a similar kind were placed. Wow. Carefully placing the planter back to its original spot, Hina slowly walks towards my hand. You know, I wanted to ask you a little question, so I decided that we meet up here. Oh. Why? You could ask me some in your room, though. It's tranquil here, she said with a small nod. I like the atmosphere of this place. It makes me want to read a book without dealing with the outside noise. And the planters that we saw had a significance to it. I nodded. Okay. What was it? So, yesterday I found a box on top of one of the drawers. They contained 3 bracelets, a photo frame, and 3 pins of varying symbols. Box? It's not just an ordinary box so far as I can tell. She shakes her head. So I asked the grand lady about it. She told me that old mean place, when the so-called First Maria won't let me able to rekindle my heart once more. Sounds like a dream if you ask me. But the question is, who's the First Maria? I shrugged. I have no idea. Whatever that was, though, then I gave us a clue what was going on. Yeah, I could bet on that part. I think for a moment. Hina may be right about the First Maria thing, but how did I put myself into that picture? I'm sure only the grand lady knows what's going on. Back at the castle, I was already in her room together with Iljo-sama. Hina. She appears to be distraught and in some sort of confused state that I had to calm her down every few minutes. Is everything alright? I'm good, she said, calming down for a bit. Immediately, I poured a glass of water. Here, drink this. Thanks, she said as she gulped down the water. I'm a little okay now. But you need to rest, I declared. You're not in the proper state to do anything. And we also need to prepare for your coronation soon. Yeah, you're right, but what came afterwards was a question I didn't expect to hear coming from her. Is she okay to ask me such a huge favor?
Okay, I gotta admit, chapters 9 and 10 were among some short chapters, so chapter 10, here we go.
I'm asking for a favor, she slowly said. I don't know if you're suitable for this, but you can at least try your best. I'll do what I can, I replied her. But What was the favor all about? After a long moment of silence, Hina firmly holds my hand and begins to speak in a serious tone. Can you work for me? Eh? She gazes at me with a serious look on her face. I mean it. The first time I looked at you, I feel a bit of tranquility and safety. And I can sense that working with you will be the best choice I ever made. I glance at her with a puzzled look on my face. Please, she begged. This is my only way to thank you for what you did back there. And I need someone who can accommodate me through the coronation and beyond. My head begins to spin. Was this even the real thing? Was it one of just those chicken chinks or some sort that I can't comprehend? But whatever that is, her face appears serious, so I'm fairly certain that it has something to do with what she's dealing with. I don't know if I can do this right. I mean, it's an honor to be working alongside you, but I can train you on the way, she suggested. This way, you'll be able to learn new stuff and accommodate the rest at the same time. I'm always here to help you. Some of the things she said made me think deeply about the opportunities I might be able to learn from all the expertise that I'll be taking with me along the way. But the thing is, I'm not sure how long I will last from this. With a little confidence boost from her, I replied with dignity. Okay, let's do this. Good. I hesitantly back away. The envelope. Hina smiles. Don't worry. I already acknowledged it from the very beginning. In fact, it was I who was supposed to deliver the envelope to you. Oh. Despite all the seriousness her face has made, she can be silly at times, although that made me wonder how I would even get to understand her in other cases. Must have been my imagination.
Was very good. I am so stoked about this. I'm a little weirded out, but the thing that happens. Okay, so first things first, my voice became hoarse by the time I ended this thing, but you know what to do. You know how it is. Also, I'm actually a bit excited about some of the things. Because tomorrow I'll be recording the ASMR reading thing for Lower Lay. So, Lower Lay channel, it will be integrated into the ASMR garden for this one. So, if you want to check it out, go to youtube.com/@AgaASMR. I'll also put that in the description later on. That goes for the other one that I just did. Also, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Lastly, thank you so much to the lurkers, new followers. We have Lazy PH Nard or PH Leonard and Me-chan on V-Stream. Thank you so much for lurking. Thank you so much for being with me, and thank you so much for having me through all this. So again, I'm very honored to have deal with this one, especially when we have so many compliments regarding my voice. Even though I'm a guy in real life, straight one, I can do female voices just like Marcelito Pomoy would, and sing some commendations even though I'm still an amateur voice actor. or you could possibly call it voice actress in particular because I have a female voice. That makes me so happy to even finally say this. I'm actually kind of embarrassed to hear myself. So if there's a chance if I hear myself, I'll rip my headphones apart or immediately eject it off my head. Or immediately take it off my head. So again, thank you so much for those who have joined in, and I'll be back maybe next 2 weeks for lots of more voice acting thing, or maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see. Again, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow. What is it? With Life After Mahotan on VStream. Okay. Newer schedule will be posted tomorrow. Newer schedule will be posted tomorrow as well. On Sunday, giving way for Sina Alice Japanese Week, because on Monday at 11 a.m. PHT, which is 3 a.m. CET, that will be the end of Sina Alice Japanese as we know it. So thank you so much Thank you so much again, guys, for tuning in, being sucked in to my voices, even though I kind of hoarse myself. And let's go ahead and rate somebody. So let's go ahead and rate somebody. So we got Mama Taich. Sure, thanks. We got Mama Taich. Next on YouTube, we'll be ending this as well. After this one, also on VStream. Wonder what's gonna go on VStream. Let's see. Rogue Liliana or Rena Fenrir. What's her real name? Rena Fenrir. Okay, Rena Fenrir it is then. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Next 2 to 3 weeks for the part 3 of the story of the First Maria, chapters 11 to 15. And then in the next 2 to 3 weeks after that, or maybe a little bit shorter, the final part, the episode 4, 16 to 20. Hopefully before Valentine's Day, where I publish my remaster. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.